Sul, hello, and Labas. Whoa, guys, this channel has over 1,000 subscribers. Aw, thank you so much for being a part of this community, for sharing your thoughts, for loving these families as much as I do, and for going on this journey of learning about the past with me. I appreciate you all so much, and I'm always grateful that you love these Sims with me. And I really feel like this is kind of a collective effort between the comments and the research and our ideas together. So thank you so much, everyone. If you haven't seen the Decade in Review, you might want to go and just watch the last couple of minutes. But if not, there will be kind of a quick recap of the most important thing that happened at the very end at the start of the next episode, because something kind of important happened for a number of reasons. Now, everyone's excited about the 100 Years' War, and it's true, it is time. I have made the rules somewhat complicated in the spirit of making the war have an impact on our Sims, but also trying to be just a little bit closer to reality. So let me know if you think it's too crazy or complicated. But basically, I've broken the rules into 4 groups of people. Knights, who have to go 100% of the time, like the majority of people felt like they should. Knights can pay a scutage to get out of it. Thank you, Higgledy, for reminding me about that. I appreciate it so much because I was on the borderline of panic. There's also tradespeople who might be considered more desirable due to their skills. For example, Jefferson is a cobbler, and the Brewers who are cooks, or Aveline's family who are blacksmiths. Those are all kind of tradespeople. And for them, they would roll a d10, and the numbers 3, 8, or 10 would lead to them going to war. There are also regular Sims, sort of like, Esmond's kind of a regular Sim. I don't know that brewing nectar is really that helpful on this kind of a campaign. And they roll a d10, where the number 3 would mean that they go. And then boy children above 7 can go in certain circumstances. Or if we want to live on the edge of a knife, there's a roll for them too, but I didn't do it this time. I did already do the rolls to save time, and you will not believe who got the numbers. It was so surprising. I couldn't believe it. I wish you could have seen my face. I recorded the video, but I didn't set up my microphone, unfortunately, because I wish that I had. Oh my goodness. But it was a huge shock because it was our ladies. Our ladies are the ones who ended up going. Oh, Edgar, you doing okay, buddy? Oh, he's doing just fine. Oh, Luella's just hanging out with baby. Oh, roll over to tummy. No way. Ah, Edgar. What a legend. Yeah, it was our female Sims who ended up going. You won't believe it. I mean, I hardly believed it, and I was literally a part of it happening. But it was Alice, Heidi, and Beatrice. All of them were the ones, all of them were the ones who ended up being the ones from our main family to go. So they're currently off at war because, I guess that is how the women do. And as you can see, we've got a little situation here. So I will see you when we get to that house. So here we are at a house that you may not recognize. The situation is this. Aveline. Basically what happened is that her family was worried about the shame. They're pretty well-to-do tradespeople, but as we know, they're very close with the Woodhampses. And so they went and they told them that Knox had gotten Aveline pregnant out of wedlock and that the family were worried about losing their place in society. And the Woodhampses didn't want that to happen, especially because the Woodhampses, of course, are also related to the Paynes. It got really complicated, but the Woodhampses agreed to find her a partner to help cover up the situation and to secure the dowry as well as finances to take care of the child from the Paynes. So Edward went and talked to Heidi and Esmond. They were really upset to learn what had happened. Knox was also really ashamed, once he was confronted with the reality of the situation. But he begged them not to say anything to Luella until they knew if the child would live, which then led to Heidi and Esmond arguing. Heidi didn't like that idea. Esmond wanted to go along with it. He didn't want to rock the boat. Heidi hated that. She felt like she could understand what Luella would feel if that was the case. So basically, they had a massive argument. They knew that their finances were about to dip, their relationship was strained, and so Heidi decided she was going to go look for work and ended up deciding to join the military campaign in order to be able to get pay for that. Alice, of course, who also felt like she was able to save her mother and felt like she was responsible to her mother after she put her mother in a situation where she almost lost her life, decided that she also was going to go with it. That's how I've justified the fact that they both rolled to go to war. So basically, Alice and Heidi both went. They'll get paid for going to the war. They'll get paid for going on the campaign. But Knox had to pay in order to support Aveline in terms of her dowry, and that's where we are now. Aveline is now married. So then Aveline was married to Heidi's brother as part of a way of sort of covering it up, because they knew that her brother was older, they knew that he didn't have a wife, and they knew that he wouldn't look too closely at the fact that she was about to have an illegitimate child. So here she is living with Federico, and they are a new family, and Aveline had a boy! Oh, heck yeah. Okay. So Aveline. Adelard is what we're going to call this baby boy. Oh, and Aveline, I missed your whole pregnancy. I'm so sorry. Oh, the ceilings aren't painted in here. That's my bad. I think that this house was a gallery house that I ended up adapting in some way. Sorry, Aveline, that I wasn't here to see your pregnancy. My bad. Now for Aveline's roll, she cannot roll the numbers 1, 2, or 11 because since this was an illegitimate child and since Heidi has gone off to war, Heidi wasn't here with her, her mother wasn't here with her, and they didn't want to alert anybody in the local area. So actually this is kind of a riskier roll even than normal, and I really hope that Aveline survives because I feel so bad for her. She's kind of getting the worst of the situation, I feel like. Oh, 3, she scraped by. Oh my goodness, Aveline barely scraped by. That is like so too close for comfort. But she did make it. And what about the baby Adelard? He cannot roll the numbers 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, or 20. Oh, the baby didn't make it. Oh no. I don't know that she's going to tell Knox. Well, I guess she's going to have to at some point, but that can be a problem for another day. Why is there another one here? So I guess we'll go ahead and head back to the main Payne family, and I will see you when we get there. So here we are back at the main Paynes, and my plan for them not to know failed because as I loaded in, I couldn't help but notice Knox is incredibly sad, and so is Edgar. And it says baby whisked away. So I guess they did get word that the baby didn't make it. The baby didn't make it. So Edgar is sad about it. Knox is sad about it. And Luella still doesn't know. I feel so bad for Luella. You know, honestly, like... Oh, do you want to make some... Oh, but there's only 4 of us who eat these days. Maybe we can have, yeah, some seed porridge. Yeah, that's a vibe. Knox, do you want to play with Edgar? And maybe after that you can do tummy time together? Although I think the next stage is crawling. Perhaps? Now, I know some people are like, why did you not have Esmond sell the nectar at the shop where it would have been for a lot more money? And it is because I am determined for him to complete this aspiration. I do not know why, but I am obsessed with the idea that he's going to finish this aspiration, like completely and utterly obsessed. So that's the real reason why. You might also notice that we have a little bit less money than we did last time, 5,000 simoleons to be exact. And that is because following on from Citrine Simmer's rules in terms of how she did it with an illegitimate child in her playthrough. By the way, if you haven't checked her out yet, you really should. She's fantastic. But following on from, you know, how she did that, I decided that Knox has to also pay Aveline's dowry since it's his fault that she ended up in that position. So we had to pay the 5,000 simoleons for her dowry. Aveline is, like I said, a pretty solid tradesperson from a pretty solid family, and so her family would have had a much higher dowry. In fact, it was one of the things that I was like, oh, dang, when we married Luella, I was like, oh, we could have gotten more money. Oh, come on, buddy, come on. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty much all the big stuff. How's it going over here, pal? Talking to your son. Can you tell him an engaging story and teach him about responsibility and express love? I think that Esmond probably feels a little bit guilty that he and his wife had such a big disagreement. I mean, they don't really fight very much. But Heidi was pissed. She was real pissed. Oh, Harper's gonna autonomously go and join cooking. He wants to become friends with Luella as well. I don't know what their relationship is. It's not bad. You can tell her a story if you want to. You can enthuse about candy, share some ideas. You know, do all the, like, friend stuff. So another thing is that it's the start of a new decade, and so as we know, what that means is that it is officially Tallage time, which is terrifying. Our finances are terrible. We've got Sims away at the war, and you know, it's just not... Luella! Luella's in there knitting on the toilet. Go to the bathroom and then go eat something. Edward is asking Esmond... Sorry, Edward, the King of England, is asking Esmond to become an athlete, which I'm going to interpret as saying, do you want to become a soldier? And we're going to say no, but I think that that means that the next time there's a role, Esmond might be going. Although that's a long time away. He's not going to be in as good of shape. And yeah, Luella's expecting. Congratulations. Do you want to talk about the snow? I don't know, just like... whoopsies. Harper, just go ahead and, like, you know, talk to Luella. It would be nice if they do become pals. Just really quickly, I have to see how much our lot is. Oh, no. 42,000. Okie dokie. So for the tallage, we have to roll a d6, and that's going to be what we owe 10 times the cost of the property. The first one never counts, of course, in my playthrough, so 30%. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, we are in some serious trouble because our property is about 42,000. We owe 30% as our tallage, which is going to come out to be approximately 12,600 simoleons. And as you can see, we definitely don't have that right now at all. I mean, we are building up our stuff, but you know, so here's the thing about being, oh, so sorry, Esmond. Oh my goodness. Esmond, I apologize for my actions. It was a mistake. So here's the thing about being a freed person. If we cannot pay our tallage within the year, like before the start of 1341, our adult male sim, Esmond, and the oldest male child, Knox, have to go to prison until they can. So that's kind of scary because that means that until we can pay it off, those two would not be living in our household, which means that they also could not help us, which means that they also might suffer from some consequences. Going to prison at this time was real scary. Like, prisons were not good. You know, that's bad. And then if we cannot pay it off before the next tallage, they would be executed and the family would be sent back to serfdom. So, that's kind of scary. Knox says he's hideous because his face is a mess and he can't go anywhere. It's fine. Don't overreact, pal. Oh, Edgar, no. I'm so sorry. You've had a blowout. That's totally my bad. Edgar, do you want to wake up, buddy? You're like pretty hungry and mommy can come and bounce you because sometimes the babies will not be fed if they're angry. Like, they'll refuse to be fed. No, Knox. No, Esmond. No, Esmond, don't do it. Nope, no. Esmond, I appreciate you for wanting to help. No. I need you to get out of the way. Nox, I need you to do something. Like, you gotta make money somehow. Do you have any skills? Archery. Cross-stitch. You've got cross-stitch skill. Stitch. I don't know, flowers and leaves. I don't know what this is. Oh, this must be from the Jane Simpson mod. That's cute. Harper, can you go and, like, weed stuff, maybe? There you go, baby. Where's our bathtub? All the way out here. Is it a blizzard? No, just heavy snow and freezing. Ah, okie dokie. We'll give Edgar a bath. Yep, look at us. We're a cross-stitch mill. We're going to make as many cross-stitches as possible. Portrait of a woman and a child? Give it a try, dude. Give it a try. I want to see what it looks like. Well, go ahead and put your little cross-stitch out here. Oh, buddy. You can go to sleep if you're not feeling very well, which you look like you're not. Did you finish it? Oh my goodness, you guys. Wait, this isn't finished. Hey, kid. You tried to trick me. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Look at it. Oh, Jane Simpson has such good mods. Look at this. Adorable. A milestone? What milestone this time? Oh. Oh my goodness. Look at him. Oh, baby. Oh, oh my baby. I love him. Okay, we'll go ahead and change this diaper and then we're going to get out of here to go see Erik Hagen. You'll be shocked to see where he is, so I will see you when we get to Erik Hagen for his birthday. Here we are at one of the war camps. I say one of the war camps because more Sims ended up going than I expected, even with the lower chance of going. So anyways, the Sims that have ended up at this war camp, which is really the lower class Sims war camp, although Henry of Grosmont is here kind of looking over everything, is, yeah, sure, Jefferson can like hearing complaints. The Sims who have ended up here are our good buddy Leif. Leif was called to go. He kind of works as a carpenter, handyman, sometimes blacksmith. Henry of Grosmont's here. He's overseeing this kind of group, the tradespeople group. Jefferson is here. He's a cobbler, so, you know, if you don't remember, Jefferson did have a career as a cobbler, but I guess he's left that life now. I guess it makes sense since he's over here. Arthur is here. He is hanging out inside of the tent, but he is the cook for this part of the war camp. As we know, Alice came to be with her mom. They're working as washerwomen. They'll get paid for that. And because Leif came, his two sons also came, Erik and Rollo. So they're both here as well, which makes this a little bit chaotic. But yeah, this is their war camp. It's just a bunch of tents. This is, one of these is Henry of Grosmont's and some outhouses. Other than that, there's not really that much going on out here. Before we leave to go back to the main family, we'll check out the other guys. And then Erik, bud, it's you. Yep, it's your big day. Yay! Congrats, Erik! And up he goes. He was a goofball, and he's now an art lover as well. Okay, I can take that. That makes sense. What's his aspiration going to be? Number 20. An athletic one. I guess that makes sense since he's having his birthday while he's away at a war camp. Maybe he's looking at all the knights that he's meeting and being like, wow, I want to be a soldier like you. And then another D6 since there are 3. Number 5. Ugh, extreme sports enthusiast. I'm gonna still interpret that the way that I said. Hey buddy, can you go ahead and add some birthday candles here? And it looks like you might have put on some highlighter and also gone with an ancient Greek haircut, you know? Each to their own, each to their own. Let's get him in cast and see what his destiny is. Okay, so for Erik to age up to a teen, he just cannot roll the number 7. The first one never counts, so 16. Excellent. Of a D20, If he rolls a 1 or a 2, that means he won't get married. So number 11, he will get married. And then how many baby tries will he be permitted to try for? 12. Ooh, Erik, that's too many. Okay. Okay, so he's successful. He's successful. Now, I guess I should have said, to clarify, Leif is working here kind of as a carpenter and sort of like helping to construct the things that they have around here. But his sons are here just sort of helping out with stuff, you know. They're here gathering sticks for the fires and carrying things and doing small tasks. They're not doing any big tasks. So it's not like they're out here, you know, going to war or anything. They're here just kind of like helping out around the camp. And if you're wondering where his daughters are, they're actually living with the Greystrokes currently. So Deville has taken them in while Jefferson is here. Everyone wants to talk to Alice. They're like, oh, our youngest little friend, but we're going to pop over to the other war camp, which is actually just right across the way over there, past these trees. Ignore the fact that you can see Werewolf Town in the background, but yeah, this is the other war camp, so we'll pop over there and see what's going on over there really quickly. So here we are at the Noble War Camp. This is where all of the bigwigs are staying, including our buddy Edward. And you're going to notice as well that somebody who's not exactly a soldier or a knight is here. And that is our good buddy Gree. Because Gree was not willing to let her sons and her husband go off to war. Her children are older. Her daughters, I should say, are older. They don't need her as much. And so Gree came here to be with her husband and her sons while they were away at war instead of leaving them behind. Also, Beatrice came because she's, actually finishing her apprenticeship this year, but she came to learn more about war and to learn more about healing during war. Of course, Kennard and Edwin came. They had to. Of course, Adam is here. He had to. And Kieran is here. He had to as well. Then, in addition, excuse me, madam, you're not supposed to be here. In addition, Aiken the Second came, and Aiken the Second is here because he's the better cook, so that's why he's at the Noble War Camp instead of the Tradespeople War Camp, while his son is at the other one. So he came with these guys. And that's about that. But this is about where they are. They're living here. They're relatively comfortable. They've got these nice tents. They've got a nice banquet table. They've got some laundry stuff over here that that Beatrice and her mother and sister help out with. They've got nicer outhouses, etc., etc. But on that note, I think we'll go ahead and leave these guys, head back to the main panes, and we'll talk about the historical stuff there, just because they're more fun to be around when we're talking about historical stuff. So I'll see you when we get there. So here we are back with the Paynes, and they're just going to kind of be doing some stuff in the background. What are you up to, little baby? Scooting along? Trying to play with a toy, but you want to be close to your mommy? So cute. Yeah, we're going to age up little Edgar today. Actually, do we have enough stuff? We have this. Do we have flour? Because that could be an issue. So I'm waiting for these guys to make just a few more cross stitches, and then I'm going to open this door so that it can run in the background, and hopefully we can not be, in massive amounts of trouble. We hope. She says hopefully. So in terms of the historical events for this year, this is the year that things kind of really kick off. So up until 1340, the whole reason Edward III claimed that he was in England and using armies there is because he was trying to protect his territory after Philip VI basically said, this isn't yours anymore. But that changed in 1340 when he claimed the French throne through his lineage. Now, the long-lasting impact of Edward III claiming the French throne through his lineage through Isabella is that English monarchs would actually claim the French throne through 1802, which I thought was a really surprising thing to learn. The immediate impact is that Edward's debt is getting really crazy, and so he raised taxes to help pay off his debt, which means that I'm going to push our taxes up by 10% because apparently I love suffering in this challenge. So that means normally our taxes are 30%, but now they're going to be 40%. In 1340 as well, the focus of the war shifted to being about naval campaigns because from 1336 up until 1340, English coastal towns had been constantly bombarded with seaborne raids from the French. Additionally, the French had ports in places that limited Edward's ability to easily get to his allies. So at that point in time, the war was really not going in Edward's favor. So something had to change in order to make it more likely that he would succeed in the war. So everyone at this point must have known the war was going to shift to being on the sea because by the summer of 1340, France had just over 200 ships and the English had about 150 ships that were a mix of only 3 proper warships and essentially like any other boats that Edward III could get his hands on, including ones that were usually used for the shipment of goods specifically. France had put all of its boats in one basket, so to speak, in the port of Sluys or Sluys. I am not quite sure how to say it. I've heard it said a couple of different ways. Edward, against the advice of his close allies, had claimed that he would attack the 200-vessel armada and destroy it, and then basically added that anyone who was too scared could stay at home. Like, he was all about this. And so in June of 1340, the English fleet met with the French, and it was a battle essentially decided on strategy and information from spies rather than numbers. The French fleet was bigger and they had more people, but Edward was a pretty good strategist and he'd used his spies to find out how their ships were arranged. And what he did was he crafted a plan that would use his longbowmen to his advantage. So the English had added archery towers to the boats that they were using in their fleet, so their archers were higher than the decks and higher than the crossbowmen the French had. Edward waited until the sun was at his men's back, which meant that the sun was in the French fleet's eyes before attacking, and it basically sounds like it was completely a brutal assault. The crossbowmen were too slow and they couldn't compete with the more accurate and more strategically placed longbowmen. And the English systematically destroyed pretty much everything and everyone. By nightfall, it was only 23 of the original 200 plus ships that remained on the French side. The others had all been destroyed or captured by the English, while the English had lost very few boats. All of the senior French commanders were removed from this world permanently, and estimates put the French loss of life at somewhere between 16,000 and 18,000 men. Edward himself had been in the thick of the battle and was wounded by an arrow to the thigh, but his victory meant that the English had secured control over the English Channel and they would be safe from naval attacks for a really, really long time. It's also rumored that everyone was too scared to tell Philip VI what had happened, and it was only his jester that dared to tell him about the battle, which was not only bad in terms of the loss of life or in terms of the loss of boats, but it was also horribly demoralizing to his men, especially because their Genoese allies had abandoned them during the fighting. There is more that happens in terms of battles and events in 1340, but I'm going to leave that for the next part because I feel like that's already a pretty big story as it is. Oh, Alkir's mom, I think, is pregnant. Yikes, that whole storyline, that was a rough one. I know you're tired, buddy, but do you think you can wait just a little bit? And also, who hasn't eaten? Was it Luella? Oh, I think it must have. And you. Once you've done this, you can go to the bathroom and grab a serving. Yay! Edgar got clap. Oh my goodness. Look at you go, my dude. Now please buy our stuff. Nice hair, Alexia Pastor. Buy our things, please. We need money, and we're nowhere near making it. He's really sad because he's tired, but happy birthday, Edgar! Happy birthday! Whee! Up he goes, and he aged up from calm to fussy. Listen, so long as you're healthy, I really don't care. I really don't care a single bit. Thank you so much, whoever bought that. Agnes, it's the crumple bottoms. They're the ones who keep us alive, honestly. Whoa, that must have been a really expensive one. Okay, leave the buddy alone, and I'll deal with his whole situation in a minute. Oh, Oh wait, did we have another cake? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's get Edgar into cast and see, is he going to make it? First one never counts because the last roll we did was actually for Erik? Yeah, for Erik's baby tries. So the numbers that Edgar cannot roll are 4, 8, 12, or 16. First one doesn't count, and 15. He cut it close, but he's totally fine, thank goodness. Okay, well, I guess, oh, it's already 11:30, so that's about that. I'm going to do the taxes in the next part of the year because of a lot of reasons. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this part. It's been kind of a nice, chilled out one. Nothing too crazy happened, really, so it's kind of nice. It's a nice change. Even though some Sims are at war, a lot of the Sims seem like they're doing pretty happy and healthy overall. So I will see you in the second half of the year 1340. Bye-bye, everyone.